What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. Sorry for the delay, but let's get to the Pittsburgh Steelers draft as they finished up. I have covered all the draft picks in the first 3 rounds, so if you guys want my rounds 1, 2, and 3 draft reviews, they are on my channel in the previous videos. I'm going to get to rounds 4 through 7 in this video and finish up the draft. 5 picks between rounds 4 and 7. They are up and down, much like Pittsburgh's first 3 rounds, as I talked about. They picked some guys a little too high. They got some guys lower that could have been higher. They made some good picks, some reach picks. It's been an up and down draft already, and it's about to get crazier. If for some reason my phone cuts off abruptly and there's no, it's like a mid-sentence cutoff, I'm going to upload that video and make another one for the rest of the picks if it happens. My phone is full of memory right now, so I'm going to try and get right to it and get you guys this review. In round 4, at pick number 121, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Caden Weegan, the wide receiver / returner out of Iowa. Stats first. In the last 2 years, Caden Weegan has been the best returner in the nation. He's won the best returner award twice in a row. In 2024, between punt and kick returns, he had 52 returns for 1,055 yards and 2 total touchdowns. And last year, between punt and kick returns, he had 37 returns for 1,039 yards and 3 total touchdowns. And as a wide receiver in his career in 3 seasons at Iowa, he had 23 catches for 197 yards and a touchdown. So there's no doubt in this guy's talent. It's the value of where he was picked at that makes him a controversial pick. Weegan is dynamic. He does punts and kicks, and he is the best returner in the nation. He's the best to come out of college in several years. He's the most hype potential pro returner since Devin Hester. This dude is an elite return man, and Pittsburgh needed that. To add this guy after losing Calvin Austin and not having an elite returner in several years, they've tried several guys. You get a guy now that does punts and kicks and is amazing at both. The dude is just the best there is in that position. That being said, he was initially mocked by everyone for most of the draft process as being a 7th round pick. And even with his recent hype, with his amazing tape, if you get a chance to go watch it, he was mocked to be a 6th round pick. To get him here at 121 in the 4th, it's just not a good value pick. He's not really a receiver, only 197 yards in college as a receiver. He's not a great receiver. His hands aren't bad. He's definitely not a terrible guy. But if you're going to stash a guy who's just a returner on your roster as a receiver, you want to get him for better value than that. So no doubting the talent, no doubting the fit. He was needed. He's going to add a lot to special teams, but he's not going to really be a receiver. And to get a guy who's just a special teams guy in the 4th round is too high. When you look at the other guys that were there between our round 4 and 5 pick, the guys we passed up on and could have gotten instead, Jalen Kilgore, Zakee Wheatley, 2 safeties there who were, Kilgore was a favorite of mine. Zakee Wheatley's a Penn State guy. Tight ends like Tanner Koziel, who's big and long, big receiving threat. Justin Jolly, who's super underrated, really good tight end. You could have gotten some round 3 value guys there. Instead, you get a guy who's a round 6 value guy. Again, I love the player. I hate the positional value they got him in this draft for. Big reach there, but he is going to undoubtedly be a help. So I give this pick a C+. Then we go into round 5, pick number 169. Pittsburgh selects Riley Nowakowski, the tight end out of Indiana. This is the Connor Hayward pick, right? Connor Hayward's gone now, so Pittsburgh replaces Connor Hayward with another fullback / tight end who does different things. He can block a little bit. He lines up on the end of the line. He can carry the ball a little bit. He's 6'1", 244, so he's a physical guy. He played for 6 years in college total, but only actually played for 3 of those years. He kind of redshirted a bunch of that time. In those 3 years, he wound up with 50 catches for 518 yards and 3 touchdowns, and 2 carries for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns. So carrying the ball out of the backfield, lining up at fullback, lining up at tight end, receiving a little bit, blocking a little bit. The guy is a little small. He's not super tall or wide at 6'1", but 244. He's got some base to him. He's got some strength. The dude is kind of a do-everything Swiss Army knife. Again, I still doubt the value here in round 5, pick 169. Pittsburgh could have gotten him lower. In my opinion, he was a late 6th round to early 7th round pick. So in my opinion, while not a bad talent, they got him too early, and there were better tight ends out there they could have gotten. Like I said, Justin Jolly, Tanner Koziel, guys like that. Better tight ends who could block a little bit, not quite as good here as Nowakowski, but he's just mostly a special teams guy who can plug in and be a gadget guy. So they are getting, in Weegan and Nowakowski, 2 guys who can be gadget guys and do some special things here and there, but I don't know about, he's got a tiny bit of receiving upside, but not a whole lot. I think the pick was too high. Not a bad player, but for a guy who's just going to be a special teamer and the occasional, if they keep the Spartan package to do what Connor Hayward does, he's going to play that role. So I've got a feeling I'm going to love this player when he starts playing for us, and I can see what he can do, and I can see a little more of his receiving open up and see how they can develop him. But as of right now, it feels like a slight bit of a reach and a guy who's not as physically gifted as other tight ends who are out there. So I like the player, but not enough for the fit. I'm going to give this pick a C-. And then we get into round 6, pick number 210. I gave this pick an F. This was our worst pick in the draft. This is an F as in what the F was this? Pittsburgh picks Gabe Rubio, defensive end out of Notre Dame. I did not have this guy on my draft board. I had to, never saw this guy, never heard this guy's name before, had no idea who this guy was. I went to 3 or 4 other draft guys that I usually check out after I do my videos, that I trust their opinion too, and I see if their opinion lines up with mine after I cut my videos. And I went to those guys, and none of those 4 guys heard of him either. So 5 people that scout the draft pretty obsessively, never even heard of this guy, went to the big boards of these guys, and the boards that ranked him had him as like the 450th best player overall. We got him at 210. He was an undraftable guy. If they wanted to get him because he's a bigger guy and he comes from Notre Dame and he's a wide fellow, they could have gotten him as an undrafted free agent. To get him here in round 6, I know it's a 6-round flyer, but there were many better flyers. There were undrafted free agents who were high priorities who could have been much better value that fell lower than this. To get him at 210 is an F to me. He is 6'5", 289, so he's a giant fellow, but he's only played in 39 games in 5 years. He's been hurt a lot. Played in 7 games 3 years ago, 11 2 years ago, and last year only played in 6. So not only is he a guy who is kind of relatively unhurt and kind of raw, but he's always hurt. He's a guy that can't stay on the field. In that time, he's got 66 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks. So not terribly productive. Yes, again, wide frame and goes to a good school, but he's often hurt, he's raw, and he's kind of unheard of. So I think this was a wasted pick. Now, I could be wrong if he winds up developing in the NFL and stays healthy. I hope that he does. This is not meant to be shading Gabe Rubio. I don't know the guy. I'm sure he's a good guy. I hope that he can stay healthy and enjoy his life and play well in the league, but I just don't see the reason for reaching on a guy here. Another guy they could have gotten at this pick was Jack Endries, tight end out of Texas. Also, Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins was here, the inside linebacker. Pittsburgh did not take an earlier safety like they maybe could have. Didn't take an inside linebacker at all. And one of my favorite players in the entire draft, Harold Perkins, who's a difference maker at all levels at the inside linebacker spot, was not taken here. We could have taken him, and what a pick. That would have been an A pick for this value. TJ Hall, also out of Iowa, was there at corner, who I like for this value a lot. So passed up on some good guys to take a guy who's developmental here. I didn't like this pick. 7th round, pick number 224. Pittsburgh takes a flyer on Robert Spears-Jennings, the safety out of Oklahoma. I think they should have gotten a safety a little higher. This was a good safety class. Nothing against Spears-Jennings here. But for a round 7 pick, I like this. He ran a 4.3 240, tied for the fastest safety time in the 40 in the draft. So dude's very fast. He's also quite strong. He's got a good frame here. He's played 47 games at Oklahoma, had 178 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 4 pass deflections. So pretty active there. He's more of a box safety. He's not a great cover guy. His cover instincts need a lot of work, but he can cover here and there. What he really is he's very fast and he's strong. He's got a good frame. He's a good tackler. He's a good box safety. He can blitz. He can tackle the run game. He makes for a pretty good 4th to 5th safety. Problem is he's going to be competing with 3 other veterans on the roster. So him and Sebastian Castro essentially are dueling for that safety 4, safety 5 special teams kind of guy. But I think for the 7th round, this guy's productive. He's very fast. He's athletic, and he's a box guy, which fits what Pittsburgh likes to do with their safeties. So I'm going to give this pick a C+. For a 7th round flyer, there's a couple guys you could have gotten better, but I think Spears-Jennings is a nice project to have on the roster if he can make it. Interested to see what he can do. Garrett Nussmeier was here, by the way, in round 7. Went to the Chiefs later in round 7. Pittsburgh could have had Nussmeier in round 7 instead of Drew Aller in round 3. I think Nussmeier is a better quarterback and a much better value here, in my opinion. But I like Spears-Jennings as a C+. And finally, round 7, pick 230, Pittsburgh takes the running back / wide receiver out of Navy, Eli Heidenreich, great pick for the vibes. Eli Heidenreich was a Mount Lebo guy, ran a 4.440 for a running back. He tested in the running back class. He's more of a wide receiver, in my opinion, than a running back, but Navy lines up guys at like tight end, running back, fullback, receiver. He lines up all over the formation. It's another one of those gadget guys like Weegan and the earlier tight end. He's a gadget guy that can do a lot of things. He gets compared to Christian McCaffrey because that's where he went to school and did similar things. Heidenreich's a very productive guy, aside from running his 4.4. Again, local Mount Lebanon, Pittsburgh guy, went and served our country. Seems like a great dude. Emotional moment, good vibe pick. In 38 games at running back, he had 169 carries for 1,157 yards and 7 touchdowns. And as a wide receiver, he had 109 catches for 1,994 yards and 16 touchdowns. Dude's a pretty good route runner, gets a lot of separations on his break. As a runner, he's got pretty good vision. The dude can make you miss with his feet. He also has a nice spin move. He finishes runs strong. He's hard to bring down. It's hard not to love this player. My only negative on this was the fit, because essentially he's not going to be a running back because you have Jalen Warren, you just signed Rico Dowdle, and you've got Caleb Johnson under a new regime now. So you got your 3 running backs unless you want to cut Caleb, which seems crazy. At receiver, you've got DK Metcalf, you've got Pittman, you've got Bernard as your starters, you've got Roman Wilson as a backup, you've got Ben Skoranek on special teams, and now you've got Weegan for special teams. So you have 6 receivers. You're not going to keep 7, so there's nowhere where this guy fits on the roster. He's going to be a fun player to watch, a hometown guy to root for, an exciting player who's super talented and productive, but where does he fit? He's not one of the running backs. He's not one of the receivers. And so where does he fit on this team? If they hadn't drafted Weegan, I would say he could be a return guy who gets on as a 6th receiver. But while he's exciting to watch, and I think he's going to be a preseason darling, I don't know if he has a fit on this team. So I gave this pick a B for the vibes because the player's good, and it's a cool, heartwarming hometown story, and I like the guy a lot, and I hope he finds a way to make the roster. I just don't see where. So 7th round flyer, it's a good pick at a B. I just don't see where he makes the roster. So those are my reviews for this team. What did you guys think of the rounds 4 through 7 picks? Give me grades and ideas on those 5 picks and who you might have taken instead. What do you think overall of the draft? It was an up and down draft with a lot of reaches, some falls, some reaches, and some really strange picks that I don't understand for the value. So Pittsburgh has a weaker draft to me. Overall, I might give this a C- to be generous because we did get the tackle, the guard, and the receiver to start. We got those first three rounds full of solid guys and some decent depth later in the draft, but I don't know overall. I'm giving this a low overall grade. What do you guys think? Go check out my rounds 1 through 3 draft picks on there. Like, share, and subscribe this, and come back tomorrow for my undrafted free agent signings video where I cover the guys we signed undrafted. Take care, and go Steelers.